talk about one of the most critical environmental challenges of our time, the transboundary crisis of marine plastic pollution. In this presentation, I will argue why we urgently need a legally binding international regulatory framework, rather than relying on voluntary corporates. Let us begin with the reality. Our oceans are dying. Marine plastic pollution is no longer a future threat. It is a current catastrophe that has brought our marine ecosystems to a critical tipping point. It is an invisible disaster that is quickly rewriting the future of our planet. The core of this crisis lies in its transboundary nature. Plastic waste does not respect national borders. Driven by ocean currents and winds, plastic produced in one country ends up on the shores of another thousands of miles away. This presentation, a modern version of the tragedy of the commons, the ocean, which is a global commons, has been turned into a free permanent sink for plastic waste because corporations and nations externalize their product costs. Therefore, isolated unilateral efforts by individual countries are fundamentally insufficient. The consequences are devastating on two levels. First, there is the invisible destruction caused by ghost gear, abandoned fishing net that repeat for centuries, creating a continuous cycle of desperate endangered marine lives. Second, and perhaps more terrifying, is the invisible threat microplastic and nanoplastic. These particles act as chemical sponges absorbing toxic substance in the ocean. As they travel off the marine food web, they eventually accumulate in human tissue and immune system, directly threatening global public health. Do you know this country? Look at the tragic example of Tuvalu and Fiji. In Tuvalu, plastic debris is tracking and destroying the coral reefs that protect the island from storm, creating a direct national security threat to their very survival. Fiji, the marine ecotourism industry is collapsing and local governments are depleting their budget just to clean up foreign waste, money that should be spent on education and healthcare. This is a clear case of environmental injustice. From now on, I will explain my argument on how to solve the problems mentioned earlier. This brings me to my first major argument. We must abandon the voluntary campaign and establish a legal binding treaty. Historically, voluntary pledges and soft law agreements have failed. They lack enforcement. To change corporate behavior, we need a treaty that holds nations strictly accountable and impose powerful economic and legal sanctions on violators. We need a transnational environmental governance structure with real teeth. My second argument is that we must regulate the entire life cycle of plastic, rather than just focusing on waste management or ocean cleanups. Over 80% of marine plastic originates from land-based activities. Therefore, a successful international framework must monitor and cap plastic production right from the raw material extraction stage. Track is global supply chain. Extend producer responsibility global. And invest in technical remediation for microplastics. We must stop the pollution at its source. My third and final argument concerns environmental justice. The plastic crisis involves a profound structural inequality. while abandons industrialization with the economic benefit of mass plastic production. The Serbia damage are disproportionately borne by small island developing states, which consume very little plastic. Therefore, any new global treaty must be rooted in the principle of common but different responsibility that CBDR. Advanced nations must lead the way by financing transition funds and transferring green technologies to developing countries. In conclusion, economic growth and ecological stability cannot be separated. The cost of inaction, the collapse of our ocean, and the threat to human health far outweighs the cost of regulation. It is time to move past empty rhetoric and declamation. We need immediate, legally binding global action to save our ocean. Thank you for your time, and I am now open to any question you may have.
Any question?
한준?
Why is regularly finding treaty more effective than voluntary cooperation?
Because voluntary agreements lack enforcement, while legally binding is very can hold country accountable and ensure meaningful action more. Yeah.
No more question? All right, well done.
Thank you.